it was a big challenge for me when Jack came to table food. He's my first son, and you go through the formula, the baby food, and my wife Brooke had made her own. But then when it came to real food, took some time for me to figure out. And rather than making him eat like me, I started to eat like him.
Yeah.
And so I've eaten healthier than probably I ever have in my life.
So you're not just eating chicken nuggets and crunch, because what happens to moms, we end up eating the leftover mac and cheese, the leftover chicken nuggets, and then our diet goes the other way.
I spent we worked really hard to expose him to different tastes and textures at a young age, which I think is key. If you can get him young to try different things, because my son Matthew will eat anything literally, and even things that he shouldn't.
Right.
If you just put anything in his mouth, and if you show him all avocados, and Jack loves baked fish, and he loves broccoli and vegetables and tomatoes and all these things. When he was young, it's just part of his life. That's just what we eat. And I understand that people get stuck in a nugget rut, and it's a challenge to come up with new things for your family. It can be a real stressful part of the day.
Yeah.
But we take that opportunity to be together in the kitchen as a family and turn it into a positive. But it takes planning and work. So I think for Jack, he loves chicken, he loves fish. He loves pasta. He loves vegetables, butternut squash. I'm fortunate that I have two good eaters, and I think
do you do
exposing.
the food shopping?
My wife and I do it together.
Okay. And do the kids come, or?
We half the time, it's every time I check out now, there's always a mystery thing that I didn't put in the buggy, because Jack now is pitching his own things in. We live pretty close to our local market, and I shop a lot. I'm not a big once a week shopper. I kind of plan as we go, because I like to keep as fresh as I can, especially with proteins, So we probably go 4 or 5 times a week. And it's funny, as parents, as busy as we are, sometimes our break is to go to the grocery store alone.
Right.
Just one of us. I'm going to the grocery store, I'll be gone for 45 minutes, and you just walk behind the buggy and don't speak, or have to think of anything.
Yeah, that's a good time. I mean, I live in New York, so I do the same thing. I shop almost every day. I'd say stop by and just pick stuff up.
Yep.
It's so easy. And I don't have a car, so you can't buy that much at once anyway.
Yeah.
Because you got to haul it home.
Yep. It works out better for us. I hate to have food waste, and just we have to be so flexible because of our schedules are so crazy, and I'd hate to bring home a lot of things that wound up dying on the shelf. So it's not everybody's best option, but for us, multiple trips a week kind of does.
It's hard. You have to work it into your schedule, so it becomes a normal thing, I think, rather than a chore.
We literally live right across the street.
Yeah, that's great.
From a supermarket, and fresh fruit smoothies are huge with our boys. So we've got a lot of fresh fruit, in the house, and so it's nice to be able to buy 2 bananas, because we know that we'll be back in the market in a few days instead of having to buy 2.
Do they know you in the market?
They do. I walk by 10 magazines with my mom's face on it.
Right.
I'm in there a lot, so I'm definitely a local shopper. But there in Savannah, people know us as a hardworking family. We're fortunate to have our restaurant. And we've had it for 25 years, and we work as hard as we can, and certainly don't expect to be treated any different than anybody else. So that's one of the benefits of living in a town like Savannah. People treat us like who we are, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city.
Can I ask you a nutrition question? I mean, how essential is it for kids to eat vegetables? I mean,
I think it's really important, and especially to get them started at a young age when they are open to new things. Childhood obesity here in America is a big challenge, for us. And I think it's a lot because of the pace of day-to-day life. It's so easy to order and have somebody hand you a bag of something. But what people have to realize is that it's our responsibility as parents to set kids on a healthy trend early. That helps set up their health for the rest of their life. And I'm fortunate to be able to work with like Hidden Valley Ranch, who with a little low-fat dressing on broccoli, it cuts down the bitter of the vegetables. Children have a 70% more bitter in their mouth than adults do. And so just dipping a raw vegetable in a little bit of dressing, it's proven 80% more kids eat fresh vegetables. So, it puts you in a position where you can get them used to it and get them those, healthy, fresh foods, which is, obviously better for them than a prepackaged or processed.
So you said you make those smoothies with fruit. Is fruit a good substitute for vegetables, or
I think
is it?
fruit's essential for kids as well.
So you need both.
But there's high sugars. There's a lot of sugar in fruit, but it's a natural sugar.
Right.
And so, we don't make them a whole lot, but we also cut them with kale and leafy green vegetables as well. You can kind of sneak a lot of things in there. Like the spinach is a great substitute that we put in our smoothies, and we use a Greek yogurt. So, while I don't really want to give my kids a tremendous amount of sugar, if it's a natural fruit sugar, it's just one of those things that they are kids, and I think it's important to eat the pyramid, and they get their pastas, they get their grains, they get their fruit, they get their vegetables, they get their calcium through milk and cheese.
Do you have any other great parent tips that you could give us, or?
I think the most important thing for a parent is to recognize that you have to lead by example, because no matter what it is, your kids are going to emulate what you do. If you eat healthy, your kids will eat healthy. If they see you eat a double cheeseburger and you pass them grilled chicken with broccoli, they're smart enough that they're not going to fall for that. So I think the first decision as parents we have to make is to make a change for ourselves. And the more of a role model that we set for our kids, not only in our eating but everyday life, the better that our kids will be.
Great answer. Are you live in Savannah, Georgia?
I do. Yeah.
Do you get to New York much?
I come up. I was here just 2 weeks ago for the Food and Wine Festival, the New York Food and Wine Festival, which is great. It benefits the local food bank here, and I work with the food bank in Savannah for the last 8 years. So it's one of the things that with our celebrity that we've been able to do is help nonprofits out locally there in Savannah. So given the opportunity to come up here to New York and help with this food bank was a great opportunity for us. And I probably visit 4 or 5 times a year. It's nice to visit, but I couldn't live here.
What's your favorite restaurant?
I really don't have a favorite. It's so funny that I'm always with groups of people that take me to different places. We ate at a tremendous Mexican restaurant last night. It was the first night it was open, and for $5 I couldn't tell you the name of it. And that's the circumstance I found myself in all the time. I went to a great restaurant. It's kind of down that way, and it was awesome, and I don't know the name of it.
That's interesting for New York, because that's sort of our low spot, I think, is Mexican.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a brand new place. He owns Lure. And and another restaurant, Josh is his name. This is his 3rd restaurant, and they're all 3 different. I love Asian food and sushi, so I've hit up the big spots here in the city, and Mama Fu's.
Mama Fuka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down around, I of course took the boys there the last time we were up to visit. But there's so many small, delicious places. My brother works in Brooklyn, and when we were here for the Food and Wine Festival, for our brunch, they had a lot of small local restaurants came out and did food. And it's a husband and wife team that did collard greens and pulled pork and little cornbread patties. It was delicious Southern food. So I think there's kind of a trend as far as Southern food goes, but being here in this area, it's unlimited. You can never eat at all the places, and it's fun for me to come up and try all these different flavors. In Savannah, it's mainly a Southern and a coastal.
Right.
What are your favorite things to do with your kids? Besides cooking with them and keeping them healthy.
Well, we live there in Savannah, so we spend a lot of time on the water. We kayak and we have longboards, and we spend time on the boat, and we go out to the beach. My in-laws live there as well as my mom and my brother, so we spend a lot of time together as a family. We do a lot of outside things. Jack at 6 years old is really involved in sports, and we're members of the local YMCA, so every season is a new sport. We just, we get up and go, just like every parent does. We fill the day somehow outside as active as we can be.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
So how'd you get involved?